That should be the person the elderly woman mentioned to us. Looking at the elderly nearby, delicate like a candle flame in the wind, the two were speechless. After a while, Teresa sighed lightly. Let's try. After all, this dream may go beyond the choices of a few. It affects the shared fate of billions. Hello, youngsters. Nice to meet you, sir. We're here to... She hesitated for a moment and found herself unable to convey the cruel truth. It's been a long time since someone came here. Here, have a seat. I may not have anything expensive, but I have plenty of snacks for the children. Thank you for your hospitality, but it's alright. We're just... Don't be shy. It's fate that brought us together. I rarely have any guests, so let me be a good host to you. It really isn't necessary. We're not staying for long, so you don't have to go out of your way. Because this is just a dream of mine. Yes, because this is just... This old man knows where he is, youngsters. Staying together on a peaceful beach with the love of my life, or listening to the waves lapping. To me, this is an extravagant dream. With age, people realize what they truly want is the most ordinary, calmest, and peaceful days. I made many mistakes in my youth, and I wasted a lot of time. Now that I'm old, bedridden, and relying on a machine to keep myself barely alive, it finally dawned on me how precious the ordinary things I once took for granted are. I'm willing to exchange everything I have in return for this fake dream. Even then, you still wish to take it away from me? Both of them fell silent. They found it impossible to formulate an answer to such a difficult question. The silence went on until slightly familiar yet clamorous noises resounded from afar. Wait up! No way. We agree that the first one there gets 2 pieces of cake. Those two running over are... Rosalia, Lilia. When we came to our senses, we found ourselves in the belly of a whale. Rosalia. Wait, Lilia, let me finish the story. Idioka, look who's there. Sila, Aunt Teresa. You are finally here to take us back. Rosalia, Lilia, what are you doing here? Alright. The people you've been waiting for are finally here. Have some cake and celebrate. The old man bent down to retrieve 2 small cakes from a box and smiled as he passed them to the twins, watching them gobble the cakes down. This old man, She took a deep breath and finally made up her mind. But as soon as she turned around, she saw the smile on the old man's face. The old man watched as Teresa's expression changed from serious to hesitant, sorrowful to solemn, and then resolute. In the end, he couldn't stop himself from chuckling. All right, I'll stop teasing you. When I meet such energetic youngsters, I just can't help myself but teasing and testing your resolve. Forgive this old bag of bones.
哎呀，就原谅老头子的坏心眼吧。
Are you here to take these two children home? Yes. It seems like it's time for me to wake up from this beautiful dream. But once this dream is over, you'll...
您知道的，一旦从梦境中醒来。
Yes, I'll be back on the hospital bed. I'll be paralyzed and bedridden again, and I won't have much time left. But tell me, what will happen if I refuse to end this dream? But the old man glanced lovingly at the Oliveras. I've lived for more than 80 years. And I've experienced most of what this world has to offer. But they are different. They are young, energetic, and hopeful. If youngsters like them are trapped in this constant dream, it would be an absolutely cruel fate. In this world, the old man should give way to the young. No, sir. We won't ask you to abandon this dreamland. I think such a dreamland isn't wrong. The ones who are wrong are those who give up even when they aren't at the end of their lives yet. I believe in you. I believe that you'll take good care of other youngsters just as you've taken care of these two little girls. And you'll do as you've done now. You'll tell them that life awaits them outside the dreamland. I plan to stay. That it's time to face my own reality and complete my journey in life. But I didn't expect to hear that more youngsters are in need of help. Alright then, it's time to show these youngsters how unyielding the elderly can be. These lives of ours haven't been lived in vain. The sea of light remains silent no more. In the boundless darkness, tens of thousands of dreamland clamored and churned, like a huge beast awakening from its slumber and freely stretching its body. A glimmer of light broke away from the ball of light and floated up into the darkness. A soul that faintly flickered between pink and blue lay within it. After that, more and more soared up into the air, like a scattered milkway vanishing before their eyes. Is this an earthquake? Idioka, it's a sign that we're finally about to leave these dreams. Yes, I'll take both of you somewhere safe. Then what about Teresa? Sila and I have more work to do. These dreams have only just begun to disintegrate. We still have much work to do and need help from more people. Then we'll help too. Yeah, this time I'll have to agree with Rosalia. Just like that, the squad tasked with liberating the dreams grew. The Valkyries and volunteers in the dreams did their best to fight back against spiritual Adam. But Project Stigma was not that simple. The situation is the same, even for Kevin. A warrior carrying the power of Vishnu. Forgive me, I don't remember you.
我不记得你。
Kaslana.
卡斯兰娜，
Kaslana.
卡斯兰娜，
I've never heard this name.
没听过的名字。
I've
我
heard
曾经
all your
听过你的每一
speeches.
场宣讲，
All?
每一场。
The philosopher was almost at the end of his life, so it was impossible for someone who had heard all his speeches to be so young. Why?
为什么？
I'm not sure either. Actually,
事实上，
there are some
在我
among
熟识的
my
人里，
acquaintances
存
whose
在着事业
visions
远
far
远超过你
exceed
的存
yours.
在。
I should
我
have
本应该
recalled
回忆
every
起他
word
的
of
每一句
her
话，
before deciding
以
my
此决
course
定
of
自己的每
action,
一步行动。
but I can't.
但我不能。
While I
我
attempt
在
to
试着解
resolve
决
the
这一个
issues
时代
of
的
this
问题时，
era, I must
也需要
follow
使
its
用这一个时代的
perspective.
思路。
Regardless,
如何，
I acknowledge your
我承认你
wisdom
的
and
智慧，
understand your
也知晓你的
narrow-mindedness.
狭隘。
I've
我
considered
思
the
考过你
issues
提
you
出的问
raised
题，
and found my own
也得出了
answers.
自己的答案。
But
但现
what I
在，
want to know now
我
is,
想知道，
as a
作为这
pinnacle of
100年前人
wisdom
世
in
的
the
经
last
典，
100 years,
在
what
思
is the
考了一
answer
生
you
之
have
后，
come up
你能给出的答案
with
又是什
at
么？
the end of your life? My answer.
答案，
Why do
鸟为
birds
什么会
fly?
飞？
His eyes reflected the old man's confused expression. No one could contemplate a single question for a lifetime. No one but Kevin. No one else had been able to go through life with such a simple initial goal. But regardless, the old man still remembered what he said in his youth. Because they desired to soar into the sky.
他们想要飞上天际，
But that's
但这不可能。
impossible.
这
That
只是
is
浪
just
漫
a
主義者的一廂
romanticist's
情願。
wishful thinking.
我
I
也拥
have
有
a
同樣
similar
的理念，
idea, the
跨越
desire
童
to
年
go
的渴
beyond
求，
childhood.
可我却
But
无法因为
desiring
想
it
要
doesn't mean that
就
I
能够
can make
做
it
到。
happen.
那么，
Then what is your opinion?
在你看来呢？
Because they
因为
must
他们
soar into the sky.
必须飞上天际。
It had been around 3,000 years since Kevin harnessed the power of finality, but he already had the answer by then. When the
当中
meteor of
年的陨
finality
星
crashed
在白垩
during
纪降下，
the Cretaceous
唯有
period,
自由的
only
鸟儿
birds
才能
flying
跳出
freely
既定的
escaped
灭
the
亡。
inevitable extinction. I don't know what you're talking about.
我听不懂你在说什么， 但
But I
我看
can
得出
tell
来，
you seem to believe in survival
似
of the
乎相
fittest.
信
The outcome will be
适
the
者生
touchstone
存，
of everything,
结局
and
将
victory
会成为一
justifies
切的
all.
试金石，胜利即是公理。
So, young man, allow me to give you one
年轻人。
final speech before I pass away.
在我死去之前，我来为你进行最后一场宣讲吧。
I'm going to tell you the story of a man called
名为
Icarus
伊卡洛斯
and
的
let you
人，
know that
并且让你知晓，
some
有些
fly
人的飞
just
翔
to fall.
正是为了坠落。梦
Have the
境的集合
dreamlands
体
fallen into chaos?
出现紊乱了吗？
It's been some time since Teresa left. Someone is trying to create something here.
自己尝试创造。
It's someone I've never met. Awesome, another one here to help. Wait a minute, he doesn't look like a nice person. It's alright, our little teacher didn't look nice at first either. I don't think that's the problem. What are you doing? I bet you'll be surprised. We're about to build a really huge ship, one that can fly to the end of the sky and the edges of the ocean. We're going to fly a ship that exceeds everyone's imagination and fly to places no one has been. What do you think? Want to come with us? I can carve your name up there too. It just happens that some materials are too heavy. We're carrying out a difficult task. There must be a reason for it. Because it's boring without change. Our little teacher said that a true adventurer dared to take the first step. Well, if you're not interested, we'll just do it ourselves. See ya. He was well aware that once thought came into being, it was impossible to fully eliminate. Thoughts were the freest and hence the most dangerous thing in this world. I see. It is not your power, but the desire you created for them that made them want to change. Birds wish to soar into the sky, so they made themselves wings, just as the philosopher said. But this is far from enough to undo Project Stigma. Even if you give them an opportunity and create the desire for changes, whether they can successfully break out of Dreamland still depends on themselves. Do you really believe these ordinary people have the ability and determination to change the world? No, it was exactly because you believe in them that you give it your all to plant the idea in their hearts. You must accomplish it yourselves. Otherwise, all of it would be meaningless. Presently, the shadow was still seeping out incessantly from spiritual Adam due to his own presence. And so the dreamland which should not exist kept flashing back from time to time. I knew the story of Icarus. He made wings out of feathers with his craftsman father and tried to escape the island which imprisoned them. But he refused to heed his father's warning and flew to a height he shouldn't have. The sun melted the wax which held the feather in place, and so he drowned in the ocean. You're truly knowledgeable. But I think you haven't spoken to him like I have. Yes, he was a mythical figure, just like you. And that's why he existed.
就像你一样，所以他才存在过。
He finally realized that he seemed to have underestimated the philosopher. Icarus is commonly regarded as being conceited, and people believe he lost his life in an unfortunate incident. But what if he dreamed of doing that for many years?
就已经是他想要去做的事呢。
When he was still very young, he once said, I will soar into the sky and embrace my success by falling.
我将飞上天际，并且以坠落迎接自己的胜利。
Their ideals were completely different. They wished for their ideals to be trumped upon instead. He is the other type of hero. But what value does it bring? Provide a stairway for others to take, and use his own failure to warn others not to fly too high? It's the opposite. He wanted to prove something.
他想要证明的是一件事。
I've flown near the sun, a place that no one has ever reached.
没有任何人到达过的地方。
So perhaps someone can surpass me.
或许也有人能够将我跨越。
So why do birds fly?
鸟为什么会飞？
Because they saw the first bird try to touch the sun nest with a heart as lofty as the moon, yet fall to its death on the ground. Because they saw other birds make similar attempts and soar higher and higher. So birds still soar across the sky now. Which bird was he? He did not know. But for some reason, a basketball rolling on the ground came to his mind. Icarus did not fall. His descent was the result of his flight and the proof of another type of success. Even if it was a very narrow-minded way of looking at things, a romanticist's wishful thinking. But perhaps it was the only rule that made the world spin. Yes, in order to stop the sun from falling, I soared into the sky and stole your light. I shall melt because of it and fall into the ocean. If you seek to retake it, then you, all of you, must soar even higher. This is the logic of grown-ups when they transcend childhood. Do you comprehend this now, person of equinox? Two of the strongest people stared at each other. They reached the limit of the human body in their respective eras, and they had undoubtedly taken completely different sides. Yet now, there was nothing but silence. Logically speaking, this wasn't a normal form of silence, but a quiescence formed from two great forces neutralizing each other. But in reality, previously, in order to observe the civilization he reshaped, just as he'd done so 1,000 years ago, the man walked alongside time and searched for dreams of the past within his own shadow. Yet, the girl in front of him was doing the opposite. She relentlessly tried to unveil the mysteries in search of the truth of the world. Perhaps because of their ambiguous differences, the two of them surprisingly took a mutual silent yet amicable attitude toward each other. But because of their contrasting allegiances, the silence born of a tacit understanding would never end in silence. After a long quietude, the blonde woman spoke first. Shall we sit down and have a chat? You don't often get the opportunity to interact with someone from this era, do you?
对你来说也不算很多吧。
A comrade of mine once said, "We merely live in a cave underground, merely primitive, facing away from the entrance, sitting in chains, staring at the blank wall with a fire behind us." Occasionally, shadows are projected onto the wall. Those shadows are the world to us. Shadows are everything to us. Are you referring to the special shadow underneath you? No, that is a phenomenon created by Chimera. Humans can only indulge in their dreams, but Honkai bees can only think in their dreams. Chimera integrated the dreams of all Honkai bees, so created those shadows that corrupt humans' dreams. If that was merely an analogy, then the issue is much simpler. What are you trying to say? Fuhua has left the cave you spoke of. And you can too, perhaps. If Project Sigma did not exist, fully integrating into your world, it does require determination, but it is not difficult. What's truly difficult is casting aside everything after what I've done. You don't want to become Alto. I don't have to. Of course, perhaps in your eyes, I'm just as prideful as him. After all, I play the role of the coffin maker from the very beginning. In the days before the world ends, people will die in droves every single day. Obviously, so long as it's possible, everyone must rack their brains to produce a variety of cascades and build all sorts of cemeteries. It may not be beneficial to the survival of humanity, but it is necessary for civilization's sake. It isn't too different from Project Sigma, is it? Perhaps, still from a positive perspective, warriors will have letters prepared before they go to war. They could be in the barracks, transport airships, or even train or ship. Every one of them would write a letter that they carry their hopes forward towards the future and what they wish to entrust to the world. Whatever we do, as long as we have faith in it ourselves, it will never turn out to be meaningless. We fight to protect the good in this world and things we deem important. They may seem small and insignificant, but that's only because they are seeds. These seeds that are destined for something good will one day blossom and thrive into a beautiful garden. No matter what, you've always been part of it, Kevin. That's a little beyond the scope of my confidence. At the very least, we will still do our best to kill each other in the upcoming battle. It's a fact set in stone, and the only way to defeat Honkai. I know, after all. Your friend Su, I think he has come to accept it. Then both of us have grown. Even without putting it into words, in my opinion, he thinks you're the most courageous and strongest person from that era. You stand before us and treat all things as insignificant, but that is because the true abyss lies behind you, and none can survive it. You cannot take a step back, nor can you take any risks, but even then, you entrusted the last bit of uncertainty to him and to us. You don't have to validate me like this. I'm your enemy, nothing more, nothing less. I know, so if I have the opportunity to kill you in a fair fight, or maybe I should say, kill the ideal you represent, my companions and I will not hesitate. That would be the best.